Module 1. The Pre-Opening Critical Path and HR. Lesson 1.3. Establishing the HR Pre-Opening Budget. The pre-opening phase of a luxury property is a period defined by significant expenditure. There are no guests, active services, or incoming revenue. This graph displays zero revenue against steeply rising expenditure, the massive cash burn required before opening. The HR pre-opening budget navigates this void, quantifying costs to build the human capital engine. Separate from operational labor, it exclusively covers one-time setup and training costs. By isolating these costs, the HR leader manages a strategic investment center, securing capital to build the operation before it generates a cent. Managing a front-loaded capital investment of this scale requires strict tactical segmentation to prevent cash burn. This expenditure is organized through a three-pillar model, dictating the pre-opening timeline. First is staffing costs for core leadership. Second is recruitment costs for mass talent acquisition. Third is systems and training setup, the infrastructure supporting the staff. Accurately quantifying each of these three areas is mandatory for operational readiness on opening day. Focus begins with the staffing budget, defined primarily as the salaries and benefits for the core pre-opening team. This chart highlights primary roles: general manager, HR leader, director of finance, director of sales, and chief engineer. Below, the timeline highlights the executive team onboarding period, Phase 2 MPOT. Secondary department heads, like the executive chef and housekeeper, are hired during this early block. They are hired months in advance to physically select equipment and finalize the operational layout of their departments. They also use this time to author standard operating procedures and bespoke training manuals before the mass hiring push begins. These high executive salaries represent a pure cash outflow long before the first guest check-in. Budgeting for this early onboarding ensures the operational brain of the hotel is fully functional before the line staff, the body, is recruited. The second pillar, recruitment costs, covers the immense scale of attracting, filtering, and assessing thousands of potential candidates. This map graphic illustrates the first budget line, advertising. This covers digital marketing campaigns and premium job board postings required for broad reach. The next line is events. Mass hiring fairs require capital for large venue rentals, catering, and administrative overhead. The third line item covers assessment tools, requiring one-time licensing fees for psychometric evaluations, skills testing, and background checks. These tools are necessary to filter out high-risk or incompatible candidates early, protecting the broader investment. The fourth budget line is travel and relocation. This is reserved for bringing in highly specialized, out-of-region talent, such as a luxury spa director, whose skills are not available locally. Recruitment of this magnitude operates as a high-stakes, capital-intensive logistics and marketing operation. The final segment is systems and training setup, which are the foundational infrastructure investments that completely enable the entire HR function. This infrastructure model shows the technical setup costs, the one-time license and implementation fees for the HRIS and payroll systems. Physical setup includes bulk uniform purchasing. Spatial setup requires dedicated training centers. Intellectual setup covers bespoke training materials. This diagram illustrates a critical expense, the use of external subject matter experts and certified trainers. These experts are required to train the newly hired staff on complex technical software, like the property management system. Without budgeting for this infrastructure, a newly recruited workforce is an unequipped, uncoordinated liability. The HR leader is solely accountable for the accurate projection and control of these three budget segments. These costs are translated into a monthly cash flow projection to maintain strict financial control. This flow illustrates the reporting structure. The HR leader must continuously present these projections to the director of finance. The core objective of this collaboration is managing organizational liquidity. Managing liquidity is critical because the property is experiencing peak cash burn without generating any incoming revenue to offset the outflow. Mastering this level of financial accountability integrates HR into the core strategic management of the property. This fiscal responsibility is a central element of the management curriculum at the Europe Hotel School, London. By securing and managing the resources of the pre-opening budget, HR leaders build the human capital engine vital for a property's successful launch.